Hello, it's JoJo the Thrifty Teacher here with another book review. So, if you're new to my channel, please like, subscribe, comment. Nice comments only. I am a part-time reseller, full-time educator. I mentor new teachers. I model lessons. I lesson plan. I do all that stuff. And so I'm combining two things I love: reselling and showing you my thrift hauls, and then also doing book reviews of books that I've read. Um, and either think are great or maybe not so great, plus and minuses, and maybe some things that you can do with them with your grandkids, kids, um, nieces, nephews, students, whatever. So the first book is My Father's Dragon, the best-selling children's story. So it's a novel, and he goes away to an island to rescue a baby dragon. So it's a Newbery Honor book and an ALA Notable book. It's the first book of a trilogy whose other titles are Elmer and the Dragon and the Dragon of Blue Land. It was made into an anime film titled Elmer's Adventures, My Father's Dragon. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to read the whole thing, obviously. My father meets the cat. My father runs away. My father finds the island. My father finds the river. Look it. One cold rainy day when my father was a little boy, he met an old alley cat on the street. The cat was very drippy and uncomfortable, so my father said, "Wouldn't you like to come home with me?" This surprised the cat. She had never before met anyone who cared about old alley cats. But she said, "I'd very much obliged if I could sit by a warm furnace and perhaps have a saucer of milk." "We have a very nice furnace to sit by," said my father, "and I'm sure my mother has an extra saucer of milk." My father and the cat became good friends, but my father's mother was very upset about the cat. She hated cats, particularly ugly old alley cats. "Elmer Elevator," she said to my father, "if you think I'm going to give you that cat saucer of milk, you're very wrong. Once you start feeding stray alley cats, you might as well expect to feed every stray in town, and I'm not going to do it." This made my father very sad, and he apologized to the cat because his mother had been so rude. He told the cat to stay anyway, and that somehow he would bring her a saucer of milk each day. My father fed the cat for 3 weeks, but one day his mother found the cat's saucer in the cellar and she was extremely angry. She whipped my father and threw the cat out the door, but later on my father sneaked out and found the cat. Together they went for a walk in the park and tried to think of nice things to talk about. My father said, "When I grow up, I'm going to have an airplane. Wouldn't it be wonderful to fly just anywhere you might think of?" "Would you like to fly very, very much?" asked the cat. "I certainly would. I'd do anything if I could fly." "Well," said the cat, "if you'd really like to fly that much, I think I know of a sort of way you might get to fly while you're still a little boy." "You mean you know where I could get an airplane?" "Well, not exactly an airplane, but something even better. As you can see, I'm an old cat now, but in my younger days, I was quite a traveler. My traveling days are over, but last spring I took one more trip and sailed to the island of Tangerina, stopping at the port of Cranberry." It's probably Tangerina. "Well, it just so happened that I missed the boat, and while waiting for the next, I thought I'd look around a bit. I was particularly interested in a place called Wild Island, which we had passed on our way to Tangerina. Wild Island and Tangerina are joined together by a long string of rocks, but people never go to Wild Island because it's mostly jungle and inhabited by very wild animals. So I decided to go across the rocks and explore it for myself. It certainly is an interesting place, but I saw something there that would make me want to weep." Chapter 2. Should I keep reading? My father runs away. Wild Island is practically cut in two by a very wide and muddy river, continued the cat. This river begins near one end of the island and flows into the ocean at the other. Now the animals there are very lazy, and they used to hate having to go all the way around to the beginning of this river to get to the other side of the island. It made visiting inconvenient and mail delivery slow, particularly, they really like that word, during the Christmas rush. Crocodiles could have carried passengers and mail across the river, but crocodiles are very moody and not the least bit dependable, and are always looking for something to eat. They don't care if the animals have to walk around the river, so that's just what the animals did for many years. But what does all this have to do with the airplane? Asked my father, who thought the cat was taking an awfully long time to explain. Be patient, Elmer, said the cat, and she went on with the story. One day, about 4 months before I arrived on Wild Island, a baby dragon fell from a low-flying cloud into the bank of the river. He was too young to fly very well, and besides, he had bruised one wing quite badly, so he couldn't get back to his cloud. The animals found him soon afterwards, and everybody said, "Why, this is exactly what we all needed all these years." They tied a big rope around his neck and waited for the wing to get well. This was going to end all their crossing the river troubles. "I've never seen a dragon," said my father. "Did you see him? How big is he?" "Oh, yes, indeed, I saw the dragon. In fact, we became best friends," said the cat. "I used to hide in the bushes and talk to him when nobody was around. He's not a very big dragon, about the size of a large black bear, although I imagine he's grown quite a bit since I left. He's got a long tail and yellow and blue stripes. His horn and eyes and the bottoms of his feet are bright red, and he had a gold-colored wings." "Oh, how wonderful," said my father. "What did the animals do with him when his wings got well?" "They started training him to carry passengers, and even though he's just a baby dragon, they work him all day and all night too sometimes. They make him carry loads that are much too heavy, and if he complains, they twist his wings and beat him. He's always tied to a stake on a rope just long enough to go across the river. His only friends are the crocodiles, who say hello to him once a week, if they don't forget. Really, he's the most miserable animal I've ever come across. When I left, I promised I'd try to help him someday, although I couldn't see how. The rope around his neck is about the biggest, toughest rope you can imagine. With so many knots, it would take days to untie them all. Anyway, when you were talking about airplanes, you gave me a good idea. Now, I'm quite sure that if you were able to rescue the dragon, which wouldn't be the least bit easy, he'd let you ride him most anywhere, provided you were nice to him, of course. How about trying it?" "Oh, I'd love to," said my father, and he was so angry at his mother for being rude to the cat that he didn't feel the least bit sad about running away from home for a while. That was very afternoon. My father and the cat went down to the docks to see about ships going to the island of Tangerina. They found out that a ship would be sailing the next week, so right away they started planning for the rescue of the dragon. The cat was a great help in suggesting things for my father to take with him, and she told him everything she knew about Wild Island. Of course, she was too old to go along. Okay. Everything had to be kept very secret, so when they found out or brought anything to take on the trip, they had to hide it behind a rock in the park. The night before my father sailed away, he borrowed his father's knapsack, and he and the cat packed everything very carefully. He took chewing gum, 2 dozen pink lollipops, a package of rubber bands, black rubber boots, a compass, a toothbrush, and a tube of toothpaste, 6 magnifying glasses, and a very sharp jackknife, a comb and a hairbrush, 7 hair ribbons of different colors, an empty grain bag with a label saying cranberry, some clean clothes, and enough food to last my father while he was on the ship. He couldn't live on mice, so he took 25 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and 6 apples because that's all the apples he could find in the pantry. When everything was packed, my father and the cat went down to the docks to the ship. A night watchman was on duty, so while the cat made loud noises to distract his attention, my father ran over the gangplank on the ship. He went down into the hold and hid among some bags of wheat. The ship sailed early the next morning. My father finds an island. Such a good book. So, oh my gosh, look at I didn't notice because I thought it was all part of it, but look at, he has little ribbons. This is an excellent book. The drawings are just something to behold. So pretty. Oh, and there's a comb, and he's going to be hair braided. Very, very cute. I'm trying to find another picture that I want to show you. Oh, look. I haven't read this one in a while. Such a good book. So many good things that you can talk about in this one. The next one is Food Hates You Too and Other Poems. It says, what a sucker. Nut. Okay. This This is fun. Ferris wheeling. Ferris wheeling is appealing when your stomach isn't feeling corn dog whirling, taffy twirling, cotton candy heaving, hurling, curling, swirling, kneeling, reeling. That's when it's most appealing. Who is up for Ferris wheeling? I, out of all the rides at the fair, do not enjoy the Ferris wheel at all. Will turn green on the Ferris wheel. I can go on the crazy ones. I can go on the spinny fast ones. Cannot do a Ferris wheel. Let's skip to Benjamin Dietz. Meet Benjamin Dietz. He repeats and repeats what he eats. He eats sweet-flavored meats with his meat-flavored sweets and eats beets with his beets with his beets. So that could be good with, like, in math, repeating patterns. It could be good with rhyming. It also could be good with just doing a lesson on what is, like, a getting to know you activity. What is something you could eat over and over and over? And then maybe if they're like Takis, then they could be like, okay, well, let's make a poem with Takis that rhymes with Takis. You could do a crazy, I'm not reading that one. You could do all kinds of stuff with that one. I'm trying to find some shorter ones. There are some longer ones. Mom, I ate your father, yes, it's true. That's what we praying mantids do. His last words to me were adieu, if only I could eat you too. Jeez. That would be good for science. That would be really good for science. And kids will tell you right away about praying mantis. Invention. Oh my God, the opossums. Rapunzel and Denzel D. Wenzel have invented the strangest utensil, which had 4 tiny tines that draw parallel lines. It's a fork. Wait, it's also a pencil. Eat the smallest of crumbs, draw identical plums without thumbs. This utensil's prehensile. Prehensile like the tails of the opossum. Come on. This is so cute. So cute. Again, animal adaptations. No, I'm not reading that one. Monday. Monday smells like dinner rolls, or is it buttered toast? Or maybe oatmeal served in bowls smells like a Monday most. Tuesday feels like lemon peels, though sometimes more like limes. Tuesday also sometimes feels like clementines. Sometimes. Wednesday's mostly tuna fish, and casserole was peas, a gloppy goop all yellowish with moldy cheddar cheese. Thursday's usually gingerbread, or else it's rhubarb pie, but it could be liverwurst instead of these, don't ask me why. Friday is a rack of ribs, beef fondue and sushi boats, and mooshu pork in plastic bibs, and also root beer floats. Saturdays like honeydews, like cucumbers and kiwis, or Southeast Asian rambutans, whose juice is sweet like lychees. Sunday should be filled with jam and brown like griddle cakes, then slice like baked Virginia ham and rub like stomach aches. That's cute. Hold on. Just the illustrations that go with this are amazing. So, this, like I said, you could use this food for thought. You may not know your brain is eating every word you've just been reading. Its appetite is most exceeding. Food for thought worth of its repeating. Yeah, so this is such a good book for rhyming, for art, for food groups, for health, for science. Like, it's just so many good things you could do. I am going to show you real quick. How long is this video? 14 minutes. Okay. I got this book a long time ago when I was part of a Holocaust, World War II class. And I just pulled it out again. And I have one over there that I want to read, but I really want to start reading this. Salvaged Pages, Young Writers' Diaries of the Holocaust. Now, I'm not going to review this because this isn't that channel, but it has different collections of different kids. It says, this stirring collection of diaries written by young people ages 12 to 22 during the Holocaust is now fully revised and updated. Some of the writers were refugees, others were hiding or passing as non-Jews, some were in prison in ghettos, and most perished before liberation. A National Jewish Book Award winner, Salvaged Pages deepens and complicates our understanding of life during the Holocaust. So I need to read this. Ugh. Anyway, Jojo the Thrifty Teacher, I hope you like the book. If you are watching this and you're like, hey, can you read more of this one, My Father's Dragon? If you want me to keep reading it, let me know. Anyway, have a good day.